In the news tonight, concern about material being shared on the internet about victims of child abuse. An update on a new tourism slogan for Barbados. A new High Court judge officially sworn in at State House. And in sports, Heidi Stoute breaks another Carifta record.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom. Thank you so much for tuning in. In our top story tonight, there is a warning to parents about using the internet to highlight instances of child abuse. Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs Kirk Humphrey issued the caution while expressing concern about the recent circulation of photos of an underage child on the internet. According to Mr. Humphrey, while the internet can be useful, it can also be a dangerous thing.
You should not use the internet as a tool to punish a spouse or a partner or to advocate for your own rights if you're using it in a way that causes hurt to the child. And in those cases, recognizing that obviously that parents or family members are hurt, I think the move by the Child Care Board normally is to talk to the families and to work it out in a way that does not involve us having to involve these penalties, but the penalties exist. And so I would want to advise persons, even if they think they are right, to recognize that you cannot put pictures of children, especially naked pictures of children, on the internet to be used as a tool in a feud with a partner.
Speaking during a press conference to signal the start of Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month, Mr. Humphrey reported that fewer cases have been reported to the Child Care Board.
During the period 2021 to March 2022, there were 538 reported cases. These are reported cases. These are not actual cases, so you know if you're going to carry that. But they were during the year April 2021 to March 2022, there were 538 cases affecting 667 children. For the period ending March 2023, there were 560 cases affecting 672 children. And for the period April 2023 until February 2024, because we haven't compiled Marches yet, there were 492 cases affecting 588 children.
Meanwhile, the child care official remains satisfied with the number of people being prosecuted for child abuse, but Director of the Child Care Board, Roseanne Richards, is not happy with how long juvenile matters are taking to reach the law courts.
I am hopeful, though, that when the new family court is established, that we might be able to fast-track some of these cases, because it looks really, really bad that something happens when a child is 8 and the child is at 25. Well, she becomes an adult, and at 25 she now has to answer or because it could be emotionally devastating for her. Something that happened 17 years ago, he or she now has to relive the same experience to get justice.
Similarly, Chair of the National Committee on the Rights of the Child, Faith Marshall Harris, says with such delays, very often victims do not get the deserved justice.
I think an important thing to point out to those delay in those juvenile cases is that in terms of justice, it's actually denied in the sense that the appearance of that child on the witness stand, for example, is no longer that of a child. And therefore, a jury, being only human, will assess the situation based on what they see before them. So very often they do not get the justice they deserve.
Minister of Tourism Ian Gooding-Edgell has been providing an update on plans for a new slogan. Back in 2021, the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., or BTMI, revealed the Little Island Big Barbados motto as part of a rebranding and marketing strategy. However, the slogan was heavily criticized by the public as it was similar to others used in a number of countries. Mr. Gooding-Edgell says the way visitors feel when they leave destination Barbados is more important than any slogan.
The answer is that we've not yet confirmed a slogan, but the best slogan that we can have for anybody coming to Barbados is when they leave Barbados, that they say how wonderful this place was and how gracious the people continue to be, And having all of the traits that we're known for, you can have the best slogan in the world, but if you don't have that unique warmth, all will be lost. So I'm not saying what I said to discount the fact that there is a priority on it, but you have to go through some great due diligence, and you have to also test the message, because the slogan has to come with taglines and other components thereof.
The tourism minister made the comments as the BTMI's new chief executive officer spent her first day on the job. Andrea Franklin replaces Dr. Jens Threnhart, who resigned last year from the position he held since 2021. Ms. Franklin spoke to the media about some of her priorities to move the industry forward.
Coming into this role, I think that is important that collaboration is at the top for me in terms of other stakeholders, both within the industry, other ministries need to work closely together for the betterment of the country. Tourism is not only about us here at BTMI or in the Ministry of Tourism. Tourism touches the length and breadth of the country, and I think it's important that we collaborate across the board. Of course, I know that great work has already been done by this team, and we've seen only this year and late last year the amount of announcements with increased airlift. But obviously now we have a lot of work to do, working with all the markets to ensure that all the work that we have done to attract the airlift, that obviously we can now defend the airlift, which is very important.
The board of directors has also agreed the new CEO will be supported by a Chief Operations Officer, or COO, Cheryl Carter, who will manage the operational functions of the organization.
I'll be working very closely with all of the overseas markets. We'll also be looking at emerging markets so that we can build out not just what we are traditionally used to, but looking at how we can tap into other areas of the world. We're already seeing some signs that there is great interest in Barbados from non-traditional regions.
Barbados' judicial system has been further strengthened with today's appointment of a new judge to the High Court. Joshua Hinkson reports.
I, Herbert Patrick Wells, do swear that I will well and truly serve Barbados in the office of Judge of the High Court, and will do right to all manner of people after the laws and usages of Barbados, without fear or favor, affection or ill will, so help me God.
Having taken the oath of office and signed the instrument before the President, Her Excellency the Most Honourable Dame Sandra Mason, Dr. the Honourable Justice H. Patrick Wells became the newest judge of the High Court of Barbados. In a ceremony witnessed by the Chief Justice Sir Patterson Cheltenham, his sisters Lorna and Pauline Wells, and friend Sherwood McCaskey, a grateful Justice Wells addressed the media.
Okay, first of all, I wish to say thanks to the Judicial Appointments Committee for having invited me for an interview and making a recommendation to the Honourable Prime Minister for an appointment. I also thank the Honourable Prime Minister for accepting the recommendation of the committee, and also to Her Excellency for inviting me here for the swearing in this morning. I would just say very briefly that my singular goal is to serve the people of Barbados, to uphold the rule of law and the proper administration of justice in the best way that I can, and also to protect the constitutional rights of the citizens of this country. So I look forward, hopefully, to a productive sojourn in service to the nation of Barbados. Thank you.
Justice Wells is a graduate of several universities, including the London School of Economics and Political Science and the University of the West Indies. He holds a PhD in Caribbean Constitutional Law from the University of Ottawa, as well as a PhD in International Human Rights Law from Queen's University, Canada. He also has several graduate degrees in law, sociology, and political science. Prior to his appointment to the bench, Justice Wells served as an academic in the United Kingdom and as senior tutor at the Eugene Depuch Law School Council of Legal Education in the Bahamas. The High Court judge has also practiced criminal law as a public defender in Canada and has had appointments in Jamaica as both a magistrate and Crown Counsel in the chambers of the Attorney General. Barbados' newest High Court judge, Dr. the Honourable Justice H. Patrick Wells. Joshua Hinkson, CBC News.
And coming up on Newsnight, a special event being held at Parliament to mark International Autism Day. The Autism Association of Barbados is thanking government for the boost given to autism in the recent budget presentation. In an interview with CBC, Public Relations Officer Nadia Simmons said the funding will assist many parents with much-needed bursaries.
The ministry has agreed to facilitate more bursaries for kids on the spectrum or special needs kids, which is a great help for children that cannot be accommodated in the public schools. So that is a great help for a lot of parents. They have also facilitated for a number of disabilities to be accommodated within the NIS non-contributory pension scheme. So while more needs to be done, we must acknowledge when change happens.
And tonight is a special one for the association, as they will be lighting up the Parliament buildings to mark today, International Autism Day, to help build awareness of those on the spectrum.
This month of April, the Autism Association has a theme of Light It Up Blue. We've asked persons to wear blue today on April 2nd to commemorate Autism Awareness Day. But while it is an entire month, we will be celebrating autism. Our tagline for this month is Celebrating Our Differences.
There will be no decision made about the resumption of in-person classes until the promised meeting with parents and guardians of students at the Lester Vaughan School is held. Chief Education Officer Ramona Archer Bradshaw says the PTA requested the meeting to be deferred until such a time that all parents who wish to attend can do so. Dr. Archer Bradshaw says they want all parties involved to be able to speak directly to Ian Weeks, author of the report.
We cannot issue a return to in-person classes until the process of communication has been completed. We simply ask our partners in education, namely the BUT and the PTA, to honor the process and not allow impatience to feed the anxiety of those affected by the disruption. The meeting must and will happen at the earliest opportunity.
Barbadians can look forward to a bigger Cropover this year. Minister in the Prime Minister's office with responsibility for culture, Senator Dr. Chantal Munro-Knight, says major plans are underway to mark the Summer Festival's 50th anniversary. She says work has already started to market Cropover 2024.
There are a number of innovations. We'll be actually launching Cropover and the Season of Emancipation on April 14th, just weeks away. So you would hear all about the new things that will be happening in Cropover, but work has already started to market Cropover 2024. I mean, as you know, we're also going to be having Cricket World Cup from June, so we're really marketing an entire package. So bigger and better Cropover for 2024.
A young mother of 3 who is battling stage 4 cancer is on a mission to raise $50,000 to help save her life. 34-year-old Kelly Marie Seeley is hoping to raise the funds by June to travel to the United States for medical consultation. Wendy Burke has that story.
Breast cancer patient Kelly Marie Seeley has been told her treatment options locally have been exhausted. She was speaking at the Folkestone Marine Park, where her family and friends held a fundraising event themed Outside for Kelly. Because even though the illness has taken a toll on her body, the mother of a 5, 14, and 17-year-old has declared she's mentally prepared to fight to the end. Unfit to work at this time, she's appealing to Barbadians to help her raise a minimum of $50,000 to seek treatment in the United States.
First, we're going for consultation. We're going to Mount Sinai in Manhattan, New York. We will start off with the consultation first and see what's the best options, and going forward, we will move forward from there. I already had 4 cycles of chemotherapy in Barbados, which haven't worked. So I'm going abroad to see if we can have any more assistance.
Diagnosed in 2018, Ms. Seeley says her battle with cancer has been a mighty one.
But after being diagnosed since 2018 and been through, well, I was doing a basic treatment, which was a pill at the time. Like, I would always tell myself, well, if I could get past that first stage, why can't I get past this stage in terms of mentality? So I don't think negative about my situation, even though the hospital will suggest, well, there's only XYZ they could do. I'm still looking for more beyond what they say. I believe that something is possible.
Those who attended the event purchased food and drinks and engaged in fun-filled activities. Organizer Carrie Skeet says she's pleased with the support for the effort.
A lot of persons reached out. Everyone was very helpful. A lot of people came together. Donations came in very well. It was really good.
Ms. Skeet is throwing out an appeal to corporate Barbados to lend support to the fundraising efforts.
Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM David Comishong wants focus placed on the full decolonization of the Caribbean. He revealed there are still 19 colonies in the Caribbean belonging to the United Kingdom, France and the Netherlands. Ambassador Comishong was a guest on the Conversations on CARICOM segment of CBC TV8's Morning Barbados.
The British came to this part of the world. They set up colonies in the Caribbean. They set up the 13 colonies in the southern part of North America and the colonies in the northern part of North America. Those colonies consolidated. They got their independence. The Americans did their revolution, consolidated their United States of America. The Canadians got the independence of their colonies, consolidated them into the Confederation of Canada, but we are still struggling.
Ambassador Comishong says the decolonization movement has been put on pause in a number of these territories and dependencies as efforts are made to push self-governance.
A number of the people in these territories are not buying it, so you do have decolonization organizations and movements in virtually all of these countries, but they face, whereas when we became independent, there was that move both in our region but also internationally towards full decolonization. In recent decades, that has been dampened.
Sports Night, brought to you with the compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL.
Time for a look at sports now. Anne-Marie Burke joins us live in studio. Good evening, Anne-Marie.
Good evening to you, Lisa. I start with news of Carifta swimming. Barbados' medal tally at the Carifta Swimming Championships in the Bahamas stands at 28 going into this evening's final pool session. Competing at the Betty Kelly Kennan Aquatic Center last evening, Heidi Stoute continued her dominance in the girls 13 to 14 age group with 2 more gold medals, both being Carifta records. First in the 1500-meter freestyle in a time of 18 minutes, 08.07 seconds. Then in the 100-meter freestyle in 57.52 seconds. Barbados got a 1-2 in that 100 free as Jaya Simmons got the silver in 1 minute 0.02 seconds. Simmons also secured a gold medal in the 200-meter individual medley, clocking 2 minutes 29.86 seconds, as well as gold in the 200-meter fly in 2 minutes 32.62. The girls 13 to 14 won gold in the 800-meter freestyle relay in 9 minutes 05.51 seconds. Sanaya Minis won silver in the girls 13 to 14 100-meter free in 37.55. Michael Sobers took bronze in the boys 11 to 12 200-meter individual medley in 2 minutes 33.65 seconds. And Victor Ashby won bronze in the boys 13 to 14 200-meter fly in 2 minutes 22.48 seconds. Well, pacer Kima Roach was a top awardee when the Barbados Cricket Association held its awards night at Mahogany Ridge recently. Roach took the President's Award, and he's now West Indies' 5th highest wicket taker in Test cricket with 270 scalps, behind Courtney Walsh, Sir Curtly Ambrose, Malcolm Marshall and Lance Gibbs. In other awards, Kaisia Knight and Demetrius Richards were the most outstanding female and male cricketers. The emerging youth female and male cricketers were Thiani Stanley Herbert Mears and Nathan Seeley, while the most improved female and male cricketers were Erin Dean and Shaquille Cumberbatch. Special BC awards also went to Knight and Cumberbatch, with Nathan Seeley receiving the Rising Star Award. In his feature address, Professor Dwayne Devonish told the awardees and those present that adopting a positive attitude is needed in everyday life for excellence to emerge.
Excellence is not that one shot that you give in a job interview. It's not how you behave just in the field, in your bowling or in your batting. Excellence is in everything that you do. It is how you behave on the field and off the field. Excellence is an attitude that you carry all through your life.
UWA Masters are the champions of the 2024 Barbados Masters over 40s 35 overs tournament. Playing against BNOC in the final at Foursquare Oval, UWA won by 4 wickets after BNOC decided to take first knock and posted 142 for 8. Here's a look at that innings. Having lost 4 early wickets, Pedro Agard and Brian Johnson tried to steady the innings for BNOC. And with about 30 runs on the board, adding to that was key. And Agard got that memo clearing the ropes for a 6. But Agard was soon after lose his wicket caught by Pedro Collins off the bowling of Ryan Clark for 15. See, that catch really stung Collins, but the BNOC was now 56 for 5. Still at the crease was Brian Johnson, and he continued the quest to get over at least the 100 mark for his team. He has 4 to the cause. Junior Holder had joined him at the crease, and he too wasted no time in dispatching this one to the boundary. But aiming to deliver big again would yield a different result, as it's into the hands of Timothy Legal. BNOC lose their 6th wicket with 86 runs on the board. Johnson still holding steady, timed this one to perfection, and it was over the ropes, a much-needed 6. Dave Eswick caught the boundary fever too. This one quickly guided along the ground for a 4, but he will be given his walking ticket. The very next ball, bowled by Legal for 14. It's a 128 for 7. Let's not forget Johnson was still there anchoring BNOC. What a beautiful shot. That one was a 4. And he backed it up with a massive hit to add 6 to his list. But Johnson's reign will come to an end as he looked to go big again, but Collins gets under it. Johnson goes for 63. BNOC end their innings on 142 for 8. And UWA Masters claimed the win by posting 143 for 6. Alan Young led with 67 and Anthony Hurley 28.
Expansion is on the cards for Zephyr Creative. The new online enterprise is making a name for itself in the local marketplace and is looking to spread its wings, as we hear from Trevor Thorpe.
The social media specialist and content creator notes her chosen field is growing as businesses move to digital platforms. She gave some insight into the company's operations.
Zephyr Creative offers social media management and content creation services. And as I said, I work with clients in a variety of industries. I work with people from real estate, retail, hotels, other brands, Airbnb properties. I work with a variety of people. Every day is something a little different happening. And I'm just excited to see where Zephyr grows and keeps going, but it's doing very well so far, and for that I'm very grateful.
She says the pandemic has been a turning point for her, and the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme has provided her with the answers.
As a lot of other people, I lost my job in COVID in 2020, and I was trying to figure out what my next steps would be. So I saw that the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme was offering these entrepreneurial development training programs online. So I did it in 2021 in summer. I believe it was like a 2-month or 6 to 8 week course. And it was very intensive. We learned a lot of things, all aspects of running a business, including pricing, marketing, determining your offerings, determining who you would want to approach for, as your clients or as your customers. And I learned a lot with them. And that it gave me the necessary information to start a business and actually kind of know what I'm doing with it.
Hers is a service business and different from the more popular modes.
This is a service-based business as opposed to products, which, you know, when you think of an entrepreneur, you typically think of an entrepreneur selling a physical product. Mine is that I'm selling services. So I'm selling these services to help make my clients' lives easier or to help them achieve their online goals. So it's been going pretty well. I found that I was still able to get information that pertained to my area from Yes, especially when it came to pricing, when it came to setting up my packages, especially when looking for help, like if I'm looking for eventually to hire an assistant. So information like that was also very useful that I got from Yes.
The company offers a personal touch to the public, and the social media specialist says all days are hectic.
My days consist of editing pictures, editing videos, liaising with my clients to see what they would like to post, if there are any, for example, any last minute posts or promotions they want to do. It also includes going out in the field and getting videos and pictures of events, of promotions, of sales, or sometimes they send me footage and I edit it as well. I also do analytical reports, so at the end of every month, we review how our performance was, if we can improve anything, what we should try going forward. So there's also like an analytical side as well.
And since the company is an online operation, finding them is not difficult.
Zephyr Creative, of course, I'm in the social media business, so I am on social media. My website is www.zephyrcreative.co, not com.co. And my Instagram and TikTok are also the same, as at zephyrcreative.co.
The entrepreneur tells the Yes Business Report, Zephyr Creative is the answer to many social and creative initiatives. Trevor Thorpe for the Yes Business Report.
The Barbados Port has injected $3 million into the construction of 3 new berths for commercial vessels at the Careenage and a new dedicated dock for party boats in Bridgetown. The 2 new berths, one at 140 feet in length and the other at 80 feet in length, can accommodate 10 catamarans. And Chief Executive Officer David Jean-Marie says the new berthing arrangements ensure business continuity for the port's tenants during the demolition and construction phases of the neighboring Pierhead project. That project is being executed by the private entity, Miss Daisy Investment Inc., south of the Careenage. Among the 47 tenants at the Careenage are boat owners, water sport operators, and those involved in island tours, pleasure cruising, and fishing. Let's welcome Anne-Marie back for the second half in sports. Anne-Marie, you promised us lots more, so what do you have for us?
I'm going to start with news of golf, actually. Barbados has come in for high praise from the regional director for the Latin American Caribbean of the Royal and Ancient Golf Club, the governing body for that sport. After a recent visit to the island to meet with the newly elected executive of the Barbados Golf Association and Minister of Sport Charles Griffith, Mark Lowry says there are a lot of positives to be taken from the visit.
Barbados is blessed with a number of very good golf courses, which I think is definitely an asset. It is blessed with the federation that is keen to promote the game and find ways to do so. So what we've been discussing over these past days is how do we allow for further accessibility and further inclusivity. We're very big on that. We're certainly very big on bringing more women into the game, and essentially the ways that we can assist is helping these programs, be them juniors or adults, providing coaches to teach coaches. So Coach the Coaches programs, we assign a lot of importance to that. We also assign a lot of importance to exchanging ideas with the national associations on how they can improve in various areas.
Given what he has seen, doors can be opened for Barbados to host a major tournament in the very near future.
Firm up this relationship with the new administration. Clear the objectives we want to have with the Federation, understand their needs, and try and provide the support we can. And a personal objective As I said, I believe Barbados has tremendous possibilities and a lot to offer, and hopefully we will be able to, within the next few years, think of having one of our premier events come to the island, and that should really help us big time in terms of golf gaining traction.
Organizers have introduced a number of changes to this year's Republic Bank 2024 Sir Charles Williams International Game Fishing Tournament. Set for April 9th to 13th at Port St. Charles, the plan is designed to encourage more local participation and welcome smaller boats. During the launch at Port St. Charles, Barbados Game Fishing Association President Paul Hamill-Smith said since announcing the changes, they have seen an uptick in entries, which have more than doubled in comparison to last year.
The first is the introduction of greater prizes in what we call the meat fish division of the tournament. It consists of daily prizes for the heaviest wahoo, tuna, dolphin, and barracuda for the first time. Each day there's going to be a $1,000 prize for the heaviest of each of those species, as well as overall prizes. And there's also going to be, for the first time, a national Barbados barracuda record introduced to this tournament. The winner is not only going to get the bragging rights and the trophy, but $6,000 cash. So we think that's a big draw for the guys that like fishing the barracuda in Barbados. Another of the changes that we've introduced is that we've changed our policy regarding fish coming to the scale, and we're no longer taking the fish from the fishermen at the scale. So the BGFA used to retain all of the fish that were weighed, and now the participating fishermen, when they weigh their fish at the scale, are able to keep the fish to consume themselves or to sell on to whoever they wish. And we think that's going to encourage participation as well as result in more fish coming to the scale.
Supporting the tournament since 2014, Republic Bank took over as title sponsor in last year's edition, and General Manager Stephen Jordan says the bank is pleased to do it once again.
We support activities that bring people from the region together. As well, it makes sense to also support activities that our customers support, right? And lastly, we support activities that bring families together. This tournament is similar when last year when I came at the end and I looked at the participants, you had sons and daughters, mothers and fathers, grandparents, uncles, aunts. You had people from the entire family together. So in addition to it being a regional tournament, I'm bringing together people from the region. It also brings together families, right? So that is something that we will always support. We will always support those types of activities, and those are the major reasons why we will continue to support this event.
And that's our news for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.